Hello, 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 hello. Happy Tuesday. How is everyone doing? By the way, if you hear snoring in the background, one of my dogs is laying behind the green screen, snoring away. Roscoe is snoring away. So if you hear that, that's what it is. The Roscoe dog. A cute, 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 cute. Roscoe Pico train here. All right, that's the way to get it started. Let's see. Good morning, Patrick. Sterling with the news, as always. BP CEO, I see a very strong growth in oil demand. Good morning, Heinrich. Good morning, Sterling. Tesla dropping again and validating the potential little mini double bottom. So no bounce just in there yet, but actually fully realizing the first target on the massive double top. All right, we got more Yemen's. I can't even say that word. I'm not even gonna. They're attacking stuff still. Let's just have some love and peace in the world. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Jacob. There you go. Lilly results. Adjusted EPS two. I hate to see adjusted EPS 249 versus 209. Very strong results from the Lilly. Revenue 9.35 versus estimates 8.96. By the way, I did record the Futures Edge podcast with Bob and Jim yesterday, so hopefully that will drop in the next couple days on a rapid editing schedule. So keep an eye on the lookout for that. We talk about some interesting things. Palantir was gapping up to the first little sloppy double target. Good morning, Royal Palms. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Christoph. Good morning, Legion. Reaver. Yeah, we can check it out, Royal Palms. All right. A very quiet news day. We got Redbook. I didn't even see if that Redbook's been coming out. Oh, it did come out, but it's been weird with the times. But strong Redbook numbers still. Strong Redbook numbers. Not coming down yet. So even with the consumer leveraging up to the hilt in debt, still strong Redbook. Economic optimism, we'll see how that comes in. By the way, how can I get where? Hold on, this week. Let me do this week. Because yesterday, keep an eye on this. ISM services popping up, but really, I hope everyone spotted the services prices. Forecast 57, previous 57.4, actual 64. We could be seeing some, again, I don't think inflation's done yet. I can be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm expecting still inflation to be stickier than a lot of people. So, especially if anything goes wrong over the next few months. Anything. So, just keeping an eye on that. Today, though, we've got Mester. We got Cash Kashkari. We got Collins. So that's the big stuff today. We got Fed speak. So the only thing really this morning earlier is economic optimism, and then we got the Fed speak. So I don't know what they're going to say. Some are hawks, some are doves, some are, what was it? We're not ruling out a March cut. Powell, the March cut's pretty much off the table. What is this? Good cop, bad cop? All right, that's done. I don't have anything more to say about that. NVIDIA keeps marching. Ooh, NVIDIA keeps marching on. Meta, Google up. Lilly, there's your big on their beat, up 5.35. There's Tesla on a price target. Did you put that in? Yeah. Now, can you ask me a question? What good is that? I mean, they're following the market down, like in Tesla. Oh, we're slashing it from 245 to 195. Does anybody ever have a price target like below where it is now? Because it's trading 181. So what are you saying? Even if it bounces a little, it's already hit your target, then you'll probably slash it again as it goes down. It's a complete joke. Analysts are jokes. The number, it doesn't matter. It's not tradable stuff anyways. Groups, healthcare. Well, that's because you got stuff like Lilly. But comm services with Facebook and Google, or Meta, sorry. I'll still always call it Facebook, just like I won't call Alphabet. I won't call Google Alphabet. I'm going to call it Google. Basic materials, energy, pretty much everything positive except industrial is slightly negative. But comm services and energy, we're basing near the highs, so I'm keeping an eye on that. Fed watch, still pause in March, cut in May, and then continue to cut with one more pause through the end of the year. So back down to 4 to 4.25, still priced in. Fear and greed, almost back in extreme greed. So there we go. We already talked about Palantir. We'll take a look at that. Lily, we talked about Spotify up. They were a miss on revenue. I really sit up and take notice, but Spotify is more of just a play, and it closed above the 62.5, and now it's closing in on the 75% harmonic. Toyota, you didn't put in Toyota results, Sterling. Toyota back to its 87.5% harmonic. Retracing the whole thing. What do we have after the close? We have Snap, we have Enphase, we have Chipotle. I could go for a Chipotle. Maybe I'll have one this week. My wife's out of town, Arizona, so maybe I'll have a Chipotle. We'll see how their earnings are. That'll be the deciding factor. There's free queso this week with a code. Alibaba tomorrow. Roblox. And not much. Then tomorrow after the close, I got PayPal, Walt Disney. So, what else do we have? There we go. There you got Spotify. We need more types of birds to describe the Fed speakers. Some of them are dodos. Oh, I don't know. NASDAQ double top. Hey, my man. Get a double wrap burrito. What is it? Is it burrito season? Who was talking about that? Burrito season? I learned something new. That was a few weeks ago, but are we officially in burrito season? And my man is right on the, we'll take a look at the NASDAQ. So we have a wonderful little triangle pattern. But what's really interesting, let's go back to this daily. I really think this wants to take out 5,000. There's a magnet before this. This thing's really running out of steam. But would not be surprised to see one more push up, and then the next level is 5,021. Would not be surprised. No guarantees, but would not be surprised. Right now, you see we have a pretty strong support window. So let me put it on the 4-hour. You can see we got the support window coming in here. A little double support. It spiked down yesterday morning, forming the bottom of the triangle, and we're now riding the rotation zone back up. Okay, unless we really start closing below 49.55, 49.54, 49.55, not interested in any shorts. Anything to the short side unless we make a different kind of topping pattern. First level key resistance is 49.80. Then there's pretty much a pretty substantial vacuum. See this? This is a vacuum move above 49.75, 49.80. You go into this vacuum, and it could make a pretty quick run to that 5K. That 5K area. So pay attention to that. Then it's the 5,021. If you're doing the minor, if you're like day trading it, your little reverse harmonics there would be a little key for the levels. The NASDAQ, though, my man is correct. Even on the 4-hour, this is a double top with the base being from yesterday morning. Would that really, let's take a look at the bigger time frame. That would just, again, against the daily rotation zone, so lower probability it's going to get to all the targets. And you still have a gap left behind, which is roughly the first target. So if that were to trigger, I would really be focusing on that first target. That would be the very key area. Long way off from triggering. So, and this is also basing. You look here, it tackled that 17.8. Not quite there. Getting close to that 17.8 again. Little pullback. We pulled back into the rotation zone, pop up, holding the 8 EMA, with cycles still moving up on the daily. I'm thinking 17.8, and then the major cluster is 17.9 to 17.921. Okay, so I'm really watching. We still have the divergence in place. Again, the only thing that takes me shorter term bearish, I mean, in very short term, very, very short term, would be that a close below 17,554. Besides, I'm talking intraday patterns, but at least I would not be looking at anything substantially pullbacky until, is that a word, pullbacky? 17,675 is pretty key support. So that's the pullbacky level. How are we doing? Man, everybody's making me hungry, George. Stop talking about double wrap burritos. But it does sound good. Man, I'm hungry now. Oh. Oof. Dow, not much to talk about here. Not much to talk about. The Dow's getting a little more tired, but it's still holding the rotation zone about 38,160. Not looking for much out of the Dow. Sometimes it's best to sit on your hands with certain markets. Now the Russell holding the 192.29 area. We break below that, still watching for, and not necessarily today. However, if these markets roll over, I'm still watching for the Russell to break and retest that 200. Coming to a very strong support area, but if that support area is broken, watch out. Right now, there's not a lot of great setups in the Russell. Maybe a little, if it pulls back a little more, a double bottom. But I'm more watching for the breakdown play in the Russell. The VIX, volatility pulling back, still at the higher volatility shelf. Now, if we start going below 1325, going to be watching more for that sustained, little short-term sustained breakout, because it means vol sellers are coming back in. So that's where I will be watching for more of a sustained push. Remember, we still have earnings, but not a lot that's really going to shatter the market. Like, DAX still, this is just getting into a mess. If it really, I'm taking that off. This is just a mess. That's, nah. It still would be now about 16.9 for any breakdown play. Other than that, this basing a classic pattern, making a resistance shelf, pulling back, breaking through that resistance shelf, and basing higher. But I mean, really, this thing is just grinding higher. Again, we have a multi-top here going into almost a quad top. I think this wants to break out, then reverse. I think this is going to suck people in and then dump them out. But I'll be keeping an eye on the 17.2 in the short term. Interesting enough, I want to see if this triggers on the weekly. This triggered on the daily, but it's a stronger weekly pattern. You see the double. And the yield did not trigger. And you see why I want it on the weekly is because we have the rotation zone on the weekly right here. I want to see where this closes. Otherwise, I'd be, personally, this is years of trading these patterns. I'd be a little patient on this or try to get a real better entry. Or cut position size and just wait to see if it triggers on the weekly. Okay, so that's what I'm watching here, because the micro yield. The micro yield has not even confirmed or triggered. Now, these are also lower probability because they're lopsided. You see, this one side took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to form. Then we have a 1 week bottom. Lopsided are not as strong. But if, I'll be watching this for this to trigger. If this triggers and the notes triggered, then it could be interesting with an increase in yield. 10-2s, Not much to talk about. Dollar index. Potential. I'm still bullish, but we're in the between the 50 and the 62.5. So I got to watch for topping patterns. This would only be a short-term pullback pattern against the 4-hour rotation zone. Sorry, against the, and could possibly take it just back to the daily rotation zone. That's the only thing I'm still watching for increased. And you know everyone where I'm watching for the close, 104.44. Close above there could keep it in bullish mode. Crude. Watch yesterday's high. Yesterday's high, especially with cycles at the bottom. Yesterday's high, potential percent B buy. If there's stuff intraday, there's a little flagging pattern earlier. This little, it's now turned pretty sloppy, but you start breaking above this 73.50 area and it sustains, it could be an interesting play, but it's only a carry through with a close above yesterday's long based off percent B buy rules. And that's for a bounce play, but it is against a very key support level, also against the 200 on the weekly and that 62.5, which has not been able to close below, with cycles at the bottom, so that could be an interesting potential play. But remember, no recommendations here. You got to do your own analysis. Good morning, options. Well, thank you still for tuning in, Options 22. I have a free poll. Free Pulte. Oh, a free Pulte of guac. Make sure you don't pass up on that free Pulte. Let's see, what else do we have? We'll get back. I got to get to some other stuff. Let me just get through this and then remind me what I have to look at. Pullbacky is now officially a word. Thank you, Tony, for officially nominating it as a word. Gold, I'm not going to waste my time. Still nothing. Yen, basing, very similar to the dollar. Prior resistance is basing. So, again, we've now hit that 75. Watch for a potential breakout above that. Yes, no, there's a triple top on that one. Euro. Mini potential double bottom. So that's the only thing for a bounce play in the euro. Not saying that will ever trigger, but that's the only thing I'm watching for the little euro play. And everybody here, longer term people, should know how to do all the double measurements, so I don't have to do that. By the way, no double in the pound. The pound is flagging. The pound is flagging, but I'll be really watching. If the pound can break this flag pattern, I'll be watching for more dollar strength. Also, Spideys, little gap up today, 493.57, 492.58 to the gap fill yesterday. Still, 494.50. Then we're looking at 496.05, then 497.65 area. Those are the targets to the upside. This is not yet in mini double top territory. It has to get above 494.60. So that's what I'll be watching going into the open. But you can still, if you're trying to micro trade this, use that level. If it does get above there, then I will really pay attention to that little mini double top with cycles at the top. But we're not yet there. Okay? We're not yet there. Qs. Again, 429.75. Gap filled yesterday, 428.43. Major support coming in at 426. We're trading against that key harmonic, but we get through there. I'm going to move in these to forward harmonics now with this pause. Got the good old forward harmonic. So if we break through this 430.50 area, I'm targeting 431.92, so roughly 432, then 433.60 to 434.16. Cycles at the top, getting cautious. Now, I'm really watching for this to suck people in one final time, and then possibly we get a stronger rollover play. Bitcoin's doing nothing. You're going to have to tune into the podcast for the QQQ IWM. Tesla invalidated the double with the push down yesterday, but remember, the longer term, the double bottom, I should say, the potential double bottom with the longer term I don't care if you cut the price target to 195. It's rolling. Tesla's going down. Nvidia is getting too psychotic. Nvidia is just psychotic. Hitting the next cluster, 693, gapping up again today. This is getting on like the pure vertical. If it keeps going, this is just getting pure vertical. So, but next target area is roughly 758. Don't know if it'll get there. But this would be the kind of things that I'd raise stops into. All right, what do I have to look at? Real quick, uranium. Uranium. Boy, these levels are from a long time ago before I took the colors off. But yes, it's actually, you can see right here, what are the targets? I mean, that's a long way out from triggering. But it has to work. Does it still work on that week? Does it still work on the weekly? In the longer term, yes. In the shorter term, we have this double that he was talking about. That's sterling. Sorry, I referred to you like I didn't know you. Sterling. Very valid. Let's see, though. Let's see how this maps out. This is a little mini double. Let's see this. A little slop, but that I'd be watching that very key inflection point, 29. But this is still building. I have no problem. Let's just see. Yeah, you still got the little mini double. I'm still watching for upwards price action in this. Still looking. Filled the gap. I'm really watching this 33.35 area. That's key. Now, on a cycle level, still trying to roll down, but we could also consolidate up here. The only thing that makes me more of a pullback in that short term is that close below 31.52. Now, what else do we have? PLTR. Put in your other things. 2009. 2009 is the second target. So we're at the second target area. So we were trading the first target earlier on the pre-market second target, but this is very, very key resistance, even up to 2067. If we're going to use the retracement harmonics, 1950 from the key, you could use 2030 also as a minor target area, which is lining up from Friday, December 1st key close. And then if you're going to try to get through 2067, the next key level would be 2108. So there's a lot, and there's also lots of prior resistance up here. So if you are long, this is an area I would personally, can't give trading advice, but personally, I would be more aggressively raising stops than less aggressively. What else have I missed? All right, here we go. Sterling putting it on. Royal Palms wanted Palantir. Christoph wanted PG. Thank you for summarizing it so much. PG. At least it's not R-rated. I mean, let's just go. Let's see. I'm trying to find the really key things here. All right, let's take these off completely. PG. There we go. All right, we're closing in on that 87.5 harmonic, stair-stepping higher. I want to see where a couple levels would have taken us. All right. This was the major resistance. So if it gets through about 160 area, the next target's higher, 162.50 area. Doesn't matter whether you use this top or this top. It's going to give you the next area. Then the 165. Then about 167. But I'd really focus on if it breaks above 165, I'd be using these major reverse harmonics. if I can get it. Come on. Why won't you let me put it on there? There we go. I'd be looking at these if it really breaks out. Now, it's keep an eye. I mean, I wouldn't get overly concerned unless it got back below about 150, 450. Especially with the rising rotation zone. Holding above this very key resistance becoming support. Holding right above there. So as long as this keeps basing, you know, and breaks above this 160 area, 162.50 area would be the next target. What else have I missed? I would not be shorting NVIDIA just yet. Earnings still are a little ways out, but this is getting way overdone. It has to at least pull back and consolidate, and it's getting to those. I talked about this. I don't want to ruin it. You got to tune into the podcast. You got to tune in. It'll drop in the next couple days, hopefully. I'm not going to ruin it. You're welcome, Options 22. What else did I miss? Did I miss anything good? Spotify. What did I... Oh, SPOY. There's no SPOY here. All right. Open. Look at this. 246.52. That's the next magnet target for Spotify. That's the one I'm really watching right here. Let me show you on the weekly. Because that's here. Because this is getting into some very key resistance up here. So really, if you're long here, I'd be using this to at least raise a stop around this area. Then your next major, see this 268. So if I take it back, you see this 246 and then 276. But overall, I wouldn't use, I wouldn't use that as the next target. I would be going... Take it for the full retracements then and really watch 268 on a closing basis. Because that is also very key. So, again, I don't care if you don't trade Spotify. Just watch what I did with the harmonics there. That's the next little thing. That's the next major key area. Also, you can see just pure price action here. But this 240... 650, definitely do not ignore that. So 246.50 to 248 is very key resistance area. Let's peek in at the S&P. The S&P. Oh, look at that. Spike higher, quick little reversal. Wow, I got to take a look at that tick. Nothing. No negative. Ooh. Wow, that's an interesting quick little reversal off the open with the S&P. So, on any continued pullback, I'll see if it's going to keep something around this 464, 465 going into the next little bit to see. But that's some pretty quick selling pressure in there. Now, if you break through... Really watch 49.75 based off that spike going into the open, because if that, any short-term selling pressure, if that breaks, and you remember I talked about going into this move here, pay very close attention to this 49.75 area if it can get some traction going to the upside. Because if that can break, you can see that quick move higher just reinforced into the open. All right. But again, can't get overly bearish unless we start breaking down below 49.55. With that, I got to run. Actually, I wanted to take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ. Sorry, I just got to take a look. I mean, the key, you might get a minor pullback if you get breaking below 17,675 with momentum on the NASDAQ. But still, the 17,554.25 is very key. All right. Talk to everyone later. Have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Bye for now.